Well, hello there. If you clicked on this video, then most likely you're getting into flying drones, but are not willing to dish out the full RRP for a brand new one from the store. Well, if you're not the guy in some ridiculous orange pants, he's here to demonstrate you two cheap starter alternatives from DJI. Here we have the DJI Phantom 3 Standard. Pros: sturdy airframe, 4 powerful motors, and this one was pretty cheap. I picked this one up for 165 euros. Cons: the technology is fairly old. This model was released in April 2016. The sturdy airframe that allows a few piloting errors is also cumbersome to bear, and the camera really doesn't cut it in 2021 anymore. It only records up to 2.7K at 25 frames per second. This one is the DJI Mavic Air. Pros: it's fairly small. When packaged into its carrying pouch, it's almost small enough to fit in a larger pocket of your pants. The technology is fairly modern. This model was released in early 2018. The main difference with the Phantom 3 Standard, for example, is the abundance of collision detecting sensors. And also this one was fairly cheap. With the Fly More combo included, this one cost me 350 euros. Cons: my main gripe with this machine is that although it films 4K, it only goes up to 30 frames per second. I would prefer 60 frames per second in 2021. But other than that, I don't really have anything to compare it with, since I'm a beginner drone flyer and the only other drone I've ever flown is the Phantom 3 Standard. But instead of trying to look professional and well groomed like Mr. Browns and Mr. Lees of the YouTube, I will take you along for an actual test flight with each of the drones to try to give across the experience of flying a drone. Let's go. So let's fire the old girl up. This is Phantom 3 Standard test flight. I've devised a little test flight path and let's see how we fare. Turning on the drone, pretty straightforward. Push a button on the drone, push a button on the controller, extend the antenna of the controller. This is where the application part comes in. Turn on the Wi-Fi, turn on the GPS on your smartphone. Go to the older DJI Go app, because that's meant for the older drone. And skip this intro that you can't turn off. It already knows my Phantom 3, so obviously I don't have to input the password. And let's see, is the camera alive and fired up? It is. Let's go to filming mode. Let's check the camera settings. It's at the moment on 1080p 25 frames per second. I will try to film the leg there in 2.7K 25 frames per second, and I will try to switch the video modes mid-air and film back in 1080p 25 frames per second. But everything's fired up. Put all the menus away. Let's grab our controller. Let's grab the drone. This is my takeoff pad. And let's see, can we get this puppy into air? One thing to note with the Phantom 3 is that this is an older drone, so it lacks any crash sensors. So when this machine is up in the air, you are on your own devices, so to say. But let's gain some altitude and let's try to retain the connection, and I will commence filming in 3, 2, 1. Now it's live. Let's gain some altitude and I will try to go and capture the house that used to be inhabited, but now there's no one in it. And this you can already follow from the drone cam. Let's change the angle. So my goal is to hover above the house and then come back. Obviously signal will be the issue. This is part of the test here. Let's see, it's already lagging behind. Let's see if we can even manage it. I've already tested it. For this older drone, it's gonna be a tough one. Can we go and spy on the house? Is the question here. House is just behind those trees. So let's see, we are 44 meters high. Let's gain some altitude. Maybe the signal will clear up. I'll go to 50. It's a bit better. And let's see, let's try to capture a hovering image of the house. The signal is not the strongest. And we didn't even get to the house. It already initiated the going home mode. Let's see what comes out of it. Let's make it return home. And let's see if the machine is able to. It seems that it has no problem in returning home. I'll let it come back a bit closer. We have VFR, visual flight rules. I can see the drone. Let's stop the coming home feature. Let's stop this video file. Let's see if we can change the quality mid-air. It takes a second to stop filming. Let's jump to the menu. Let's try to engage 1080p 25 frames per second, no problem. It did it for us mid-air. And let's commence filming again without actually returning home. Give it a quick 360 and let's go and try to spy on the neighbors again. We got 50 meters of altitude and off we go. Off we go. What's good about the Phantom 3 Standard, like I said earlier, is that it's fairly sturdy and powerful with its 4 motors. So it's quite fun to fly, but you're really on your own when flying. There's no sensors to help you not crash, so you're left on your own devices controlling the drone. But it seems that here with the test situation, these trees are really a hindrance. So let's just allow the drone to come home, and this pretty much concludes the test. So we were struggling through these trees 50 meters high to get about what was it now, 450 meters away. Obviously this is not ideal. You would want to be in a better position to have better signal, but this is the test situation we have here, and I think it's a pretty good one. Put the drone through its paces, but there it comes. Is it going to overshoot us? No, it stopped quite nicely. Let's make it go UAV on us. Point the camera straight down, and it's more or less returning home. It's coming down. I will do the final landing myself just in case, but let's let the machine do its job. There it's coming. I will cancel the coming home now. So there am I. Let's go into the shadow and let's turn the camera back up again for landing purposes. And let's put this puppy down. Obviously, always you gotta take off and land through the application, so you're not allowed to land yourself. With the Phantom 3 Standard you can come down, but it won't turn off the engines. You can't do it manually from anywhere, so you have to let it land on its own. But this concludes the test flight of the Phantom 3 Standard. I will stop the video file, and I hope this is a good example of the video quality and the range capabilities of the older machine. And let's fire up the newer Mavic Air. As it's evident from the moment go with the newer drones, everything is smarter, the packaging, the presentation, the ergonomics. So let's turn this puppy on. First you have to start the remote control. This controller charges the phone. I don't know if it's a good or a bad feature. I haven't decided yet. I took the liberty of removing the camera cover. You turn on the drone from the battery. Yeah, let's let it calibrate in the air. Put it down here to our takeoff pad. Obviously we have to connect with the device from the application. I'm just going to show, this is the newer DJI Go 4 app. It's already connected obviously because it's I have flown it before. Let's go to Go Fly option. If you see this screen, everything is going as intended. Let's see if the drone is ready to take off. Let's check the camera settings. We are filming at 4K, 30 frames per second. Why not launch the camera and launch the drone. The takeoff procedure is the same from the application. And let's commence our flight. This drone is more intelligent. I will try to demonstrate it now. Let's see if it flies into the bush. As you can see, it's been not allowed by the drone. It reacted to the obstacle. But let's gain the height here and let's try to go and spy on the non-existing neighbors and the house they've left behind. Sorry. So let's take up the same altitude. We were 50 meters high with the Phantom 3. I'm gonna take it slow. I'm not in the sport mode, which I could use to fly faster, but I'm not going to at the moment. So this is 50 meters and let's commence our flight to the neighbor's plot. Try to adjust the camera and our goal is to spy them from above. Let's see if we can make it happen. We're halfway there, more or less. Strong aircraft interference. Let's see. I've already tried it. We should be able to make it with this drone. We are 250 meters in. This should be around 400 meters, the house there. And we're reaching up top our target. Obviously, when the signal goes weaker, you have to really see what's going on, try to get the best signal possible, so you could adjust your angles and whatnot. Let's see if we can get the house or not. We should be able to. I don't want it to make any overly vigorous moves. Point the camera down. Let's try to get a intel moment here. Let's try to see what do they have in their yard. No signal. Okay, we lost the signal. So today Mavic Air is also struggling for signal. I'm trying to hold the controller as high as possible. We are almost across the target there. Come on, just a few meters more. That's 410 meters away, 51 meters high. Application shows 220, 428. We are just about above, I would say now. Signal is weak. Let's see. Okay, the camera is straight down. Let's try to get a. Okay, the application is updating live at least. Let's try to get the distance right, because the feed, it's not accurate anymore. No signal. No, we have a signal. I believe in you. There we go. This is good enough for the spy shot. And why not? Let's make it return home on its own. And when the signal comes back, I'm gonna stop the filming. Let's change the quality to 1080p, 60 frames per second. and try to capture some comparative footage here. But I'll battle with the drone here for a second, and I'll jump back into the video when I have the control over the drone again. Okay, I've regained the visual of the machine. Let's go to 1080p, 60 frames per second. Let's try to get this flight in before we run out of battery. So I'm recording. Let's turn the drone around and let's try to give one more push to get some intel from the neighbors. I'm also gonna give it a bit more height. Maybe that will help. We are now 65 meters high. In a second 63, 64, 65 is there, and maybe it helps with the control. We are cruising. We are reaching 200 meters away. As you can see, controlling the drone is not really anything that difficult. Like everything on this planet, they build it so that even the most basic user could operate it. Okay, we're having a good signal run here. We are getting good intel in a second, I hope. Yes, 65 meters high, the signal is way better. We have reached our destination. We still have live control over the drone, so that ounce of extra height was the magic here. We are getting our spice shot. It says the signal is weak.
No signal.
Okay, there's signal again. We've gotten what we wanted, and let's go into sport mode now. Because why not? Let's go full 360 and let's try to bring the drone home ourselves, not use the coming home function. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we're more or less pointing towards home. Let's try to film something else to see other than the sky. But now we're in sport mode and we are returning on speed. Max motor speed reached. Let's get some height back to the camera. Now we're getting the control over the machine back. We are seeing ourselves in a second here. That's where we're at. Turn the nose down. We are making our way home. I have visual of the machine. The battery is getting low, so you gotta bear with me. Handle the peeping of the drone in distress, so to say. But let's come to our landing pad. Let's come out of sport mode, so it's not that edgy. Let's try to find ourselves. I'm gonna stay in the shadow of the bush like the last time. There's us, and there's the drone landing. I will stop the video now. I will adjust the camera in a suitable position to land. And let's come down. And let's set this puppy down. And this is pretty much that, how you fly a drone. Phantom 3 standard, Mavic Air, nothing too difficult to control, easy basically for anyone to start flying a drone. It obviously takes a little time to achieve some sort of proficiency, let alone mastery, but flying a drone is simpler, I'd say, than I first expected. This pretty much concludes the video here. maybe final word of advice here, with these machines becoming more popular, make sure to be on point with the local legislation of where you're flying your drone. That will help you know that you're not breaking any local rules. And if you're going to break local rules, then it at least makes sense to know what the rules are you're breaking. But I'm not advising anyone to do that, so know the rules, follow the rules. Anyhow, like always, if you've been watching this far, then any feedback on how I could make my video better in the future, let me know in the comments, wherever. And thanks for watching, I guess. See you.